Dear friends, this week we are reading the Torah portion of Korach. As well, tonight and tomorrow is the third day of Tammuz, the 24th yard site of the saintly Lubavitcher Rebbe, the leader of world Jewry. And in this week's portion, we get an understanding of what does it mean a true Jewish leader and a true leader. We have Moses, who's leading the Jewish people, brought so many great things to the Jewish people, and now his leadership is being questioned by Korach, who was a great man. He was influential, he was powerful, he came from great lineage, and he was coming to Moshe and he's saying, this is all nepotism. You're playing games, you're trying to give your family jobs, you're not caring about me and about the important people who need to also have those important jobs. And he was trying to bring down Moshe and everything he stood for. And we find in the Torah portion that Hashem came out very strongly against Korach, and he died an unusual death, being swallowed in the ground, the first earthquake we know of, and then others were burned, and it was a terrible plague amongst the Jews of those who were involved. But within the story we find, how did Moses deal when his leadership was challenged? And Moshe did not go and stand with his strength and say, what are you starting up with me? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who appointed me? Don't you know what I did until now? Nothing of that. Moshe comes to Korach and says, please, don't make arguments. Don't fight. It's going to be bad for you. It's not worthwhile. He goes to the other people involved, and they were not good people, and he humbled himself to go to them to plead for peace and not to make fights and not to make any issues, to allow the Jewish people to live in harmony and in peace and to allow the Jewish people's mission to go forward. Moses was the most humble of leaders. It was never about him, even when he was being attacked. To Moshe Rabbeinu, it was ultimately about what he stood for and what he was there as a servant of God to teach and to lead. And here we see what a true leader is. There are two ways of having authority over people or being above people. One is through power and one is through influence. Power is a zero-sum game. Power is, if I have power, you have less power. You listen to me because I have that power. I occupy the space. I occupy the authority. You have no choice but to listen to me. That is the leadership of most people. Their position, they're voted into, or that they have, they acquired, they inherited. But then there is leadership through influence. And a leadership of influence is never about taking up space, and it's never about power. You don't need power to influence. Influence is about lifting people up to be as great as you, if not greater. Moshe looked at every Jew and he said, everyone could be as great as Moses. Everyone could be even greater than me. If they listen to the message that I have, humbly God gave me that position, and they listen to the message, they can be as great as Moses and maybe even greater than Moses. And he was looking very forward that people can reach up to those levels. So Moses was never about him or someone else. It was about him and everyone else, sharing the passion, the love, the knowledge with everyone, that they should be ignited with the passion as much as he has, if not even greater. And this was the leadership of the Rebbe. The Rebbe was a leader, as Rabbi Jonathan Sachs always said, who created leaders and not followers. The Rebbe used to send his best and brightest away. Go and start your own leadership somewhere else. Follow what we've taught you here, and you become a leader, and you become an influencer. The Rebbe touched people's lives, because when they came to the Rebbe, it was never about the Rebbe, it was about the person sitting in front of them. The Rebbe made everyone focus as a laser on their qualities, their abilities, their potential, and the fact that God put them in this world with a mission. That's why 24 years later, Chabad is growing exponentially. Many new young people are going as shluchim, emissaries of the Rebbe, many who did not ever meet the Rebbe. But yet they've been influenced by the Rebbe, because the Rebbe's influence, the Rebbe's power was not a zero-sum game. It was about inspiring others. It was about teaching others. It was about allowing others to see who they are and what they can become. And every one of us has been touched by the Rebbe and could be touched to become that leader. And as we mark 24 years, let's all become our own little Rebbes. Let's start not being shy and cowardly, and let's start influencing those around us, not by dictating what they have to do, but by being inspired what we commit ourselves to, realizing that we could step up to the plate, and we can and are important to God. And when we do something with passion, it's real and genuine. And then all of a sudden, yourself, your family, your colleagues, those who meet you, and even beyond, become influenced by you and what you stand for. And that's leadership that's capable for every Jew. That's the leadership that Moses had, and he tried to influence every Jew, and that's the way the Rebbe led us. And may God help that we will be together with the Rebbe, with Mashiach, very quickly in our days, when we will all realize that potential that we all have, and all rise to the true selves who we can be. I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. May God bless you all. We love you all. Shabbat candlelighting time in Montreal is 8:26 p.m.